So if you watched our last video on recruiter chat boxes, you're probably wondering, how do I get one of those set up on my site? If that's your question, you're in luck, because in this video, I'm going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to walk you through the process from start to finish of setting up a Drift chat box on your site. Once this video is done, you'll have everything you need to get started. Okay, here we go. You're going to start with a pretty simple first step. You're going to create your free account. So click Create Free Account. You can choose to sign up with either email, Google, or Microsoft, whatever is best for you. We're going to use email, and we're going to use a new test website that I have set up. And we're going to have to make sure we choose a password. They have a 10-character minimum here, so remember that. And we will now create our free account. Okay, you can get to choose some setup options here for how Drift will look. I'm just going to keep the defaults. And now we're going to be able to change our language and our greeting. And again, I will keep the defaults here, and you'll put your full name in. We'll use my test name for this website. And again, you'll be able to put your company name in and the company website in. And if you want to upload an avatar or picture of yourself, you can do that too. And lastly, you're going to choose how you're going to install that. So basically for this video, we're going to choose WordPress, and we'll walk you through that process after. And then we're going to, actually, let's go back here. So we're going to download the Drift WordPress plugin. We're going to add it to our site. So if you have a WordPress site, I will show you how to do this. If not, I'll show you another method. So you're going to go to your dashboard, plugins, add new. You're going to search for Drift, and you're going to click install now. Then you're going to click activate. The plugin is now installed, so you need to follow the next step, which is copy the code below and go to your WordPress admin panel. So you're going to copy this code. You're going to go to settings, Drift, paste the code in there, make sure live chat is enabled, and hit save changes. Pretty straightforward. Once you're on the site, we can see now that Drift is installed. Simple as that. Okay, a couple more things we need to do though. Now we're going to show you one. If you don't have WordPress, what do? In that case, you'll click JavaScript, and you're going to have to log into your code editor on your site, which is different depending on how your site's set up. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to copy the code, and you're going to look to place it before the head tag. You may need a little bit of assistance from a developer here if you don't have the expertise. There's many different environments, so I can't really walk you through every single one, but this is sort of your other option. Since we used WordPress, I'm going to click Verify Installation like this. I'm going to put my WordPress URL in, my website URL in, sorry. Okay, well, not sure why they can't verify. We know it's installed. So let's just continue to the dashboard. Not worry about that for now. Okay, so next thing we want to do is do a couple of housekeeping things. So let's start by changing our availability. So I'm going to click the gear icon for settings. Then I'm going to click App Settings, Drift Widget, Hours and Targeting. And here, what I can do is tell Drift when I'm going to be available for calls, to take messages. If I'm not available, they're going to get an away message, and they'll be asked to leave their email address. So let's say I want to be available during the weekdays from 8 to, let's say, 6. So make sure your time zone's set correctly. And from here, essentially, that's all you need to do. Everything's automatically saved. And what you'll find is that when people go to the site during these hours, they'll get a prompt asking how they can be helped. If it's outside of these hours, they'll be given an away message. The next thing you want to do is make sure you ask your people for their email address, the people who come to the site. So again, go to App Settings, Drift Widget, but this time click Advanced, scroll down, and check Ask Site Visitors for Email. What this will do is it will allow you to get in touch with people who you miss and aren't able to connect with if they leave their email address. So it gives you a much higher chance of getting in touch with someone who you're not able to connect with right away. Okay, So that's basically it for the setup process behind the scenes. As you can kind of see here, it's set up. Outside of hours, it'll show a different message. Pretty straightforward. So a couple other things to know. How do you respond to people, right? So there's a couple ways of doing it. So if you can log into your browser and you can enable desktop notifications. If you click allow, that means that whenever someone messages you on your website, you will get a notification so that you can start responding. Hi, can I get a job? And notifications didn't work right there. Let's see what's going on here. If we go to our conversations, we can see the first message coming in. Not sure why the notification didn't pop up, possibly because I just installed it, but you should get a notification as long as you have those notifications turned on and your browser's open. Another option you have is to use Slack. Slack is a tool that is typically used for conversations between inter-office conversations, but if you download and set up an account and follow these instructions, you'll also be able to get notifications like that. I found it to be very reliable. That's why I use it for the Talent Hero site. I would suggest, if you can kind of go through these steps, it's not too complicated, and set it up, I would recommend you do that. Another option you can use, and this works really, really well, and is probably the simplest thing to do, is to set it up as an app on your phone. So for some reason, Drift doesn't have any apps for Mac or PC, but they do have apps for iOS and Android. And so what you can do is download those apps to your phone, and you'll get a notification whenever someone messages you on your site, just as if they were sending you a text or a WhatsApp message. So it's really straightforward interface, easy to respond. Obviously, the desktop interface is a little bit better if you're sitting in front of a computer, but both will work quite well. As you can see, you'll often get some information about the person who's on your site. And if they actually give you their email address, it tends to be populated with a lot more information. So that's really it. It's a pretty straightforward setup process. And as you can see, you can probably get this done. How long did that take me? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, get this set up on your site. You're ready to go with Drift, talking to your leads and your current customers through your site, making the whole process just a lot more seamless for everybody, which gives these people a great impression of your business, and make sure that you're able to stay in touch with them whenever you want without having to sort of pick up the phone all the time. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me at zach@talentheromedia.com, and subscribe below to find out when our newest video is released.